and welcome into TalkFCB, and welcome back here to the channel, guys. It's round 31 in La Liga. There are just 8 games to go in the current season, and sadly, we are no longer La Liga leaders, but the fight does continue, starting here at the Camp Nou against Athletic Club, where we have to win. We said before, there's no room for error, and if there was no room for error against Sevilla, well, in every single game for the remainder of the season, honestly, one more slip up and it's done, it's over. We have to win here, we have to step up and show that we can learn from our mistakes. And in today's video, we are going to be discussing all that you need to know, including here the build-up to this game. We're going to be talking about the words of Setién and, of course, the tactics, all in one video today, because unfortunately, last night I had to do a rather unexpected video. Thanks for that, Real. Kickoff, though, will be coming to us at 10 p.m. local time for the 4th match in a row since our return. 10 p.m, 10 p.m, 10 p.m, 10 p.m. We wait up until the middle of the night, it seems, for Barça to play, only for disappointment. But in this game, hopefully, Barça can perform, but it won't be easy against a good Athletic side. And here, guys, like I say, are the times right around the world, so you can catch up with this one. Elsewhere in La Liga, Real Madrid will be hosting Mallorca at the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium. That'll be coming there the day after our game on the Wednesday night, and that should be a really good watch. If you're somebody there who likes dubious penalties, if you're somebody who loves a bit of controversy with offside decisions, that will be the game for you, no doubt about that. But when you look at the La Liga table, sadly, Real Madrid now are at the helm. They top the league there on head-to-head record. Even though we have the same meta points, even though we have a better goal difference, we left ourselves open there to being second in the league through dropping points and for failing there in the 2 Clásicos this season, with Real Madrid getting to the top, courtesy there of that perfectly legitimate win against Sociedad last night, with not a single hint of bias in the refereeing. But there's 24 points still to play for, 8 games still left. We've got to keep fighting, like I say, and we have to keep the pressure on Real Madrid. And in terms of the league table there, for Athletic Club, they are in a pretty respectable 9th place coming into this game. And I've got to say, their recent form has been absolutely outstanding, and that's really pushed them there back in European contention, with them just 5 points right now off 7th place. And let's not forget as well, they've still got that Copa del Rey final against their Basque rivals Sociedad to come, with a date for this year yet to be confirmed. But it is that recent form there where we simply have to begin when it comes to Athletic, because there's no two ways about it. Coming into this game, it is not going to be easy. Barcelona once again have a real test on their hands, because we're going to be coming up here against arguably the most informed team in the entire league right now. Over the past 5 games, Athletic Club have more points than any other La Liga team, bar Real Madrid, registering 3 wins and 2 draws in their last 5 games. And to be fair, in all of those games, they've done it there without the help of referees, and that's always good to see. I respect that about teams, I really do. They picked up draws there against Eibar, against Atletico, they've beaten Villarreal, they've beaten Valladolid there very comfortably, and most recently at the weekend they beat Real Betis by a 0-0. But it's not just Athletic's form there, which will be a concern for Barcelona coming into this game, because it's also our recent record when we faced Athletic that will raise a few eyebrows, and coming into this game, it will make you nervous, because in our last 4 meetings across all competitions against Athletic, we have emerged with 0 wins. We have not beaten Athletic in our last 4 games against them in all competitions, which is pretty rare coming into a game here for Barcelona on that head-to-head record. Our last meeting, of course, came back in February. That was Quique Setién's 2nd defeat there as the Barcelona coach. A 93rd minute own goal from Sergio Busquets saw us eliminated from the Copa del Rey at the quarter-final stage. And of course, who can forget their first game of the season away at San Mamés, as Ernesto Valverde pretty much picked off where he'd left off the following season. It was a nightmare start, a dreadful beginning to the season, with Adari scoring in incredible fashion. And of course, Adari's now a player who has retired due to injury problems, but he had some phenomenal final years in his career. But on the subject of injury problems, Barcelona do have some injury concerns of their own. Sergio Roberto is still missing from the squad there with injury, and Frenkie de Jong, of course, we spoke about it yesterday, a much more serious problem there, picked up in the soleus after more tests. He is going to be out for several weeks to come, it seems, with his return date as of yet still to be confirmed. And you also look at it there, the likes of Junior Firpo, Clement Longley, Vidal, Suarez, they are all 1 booking away from a suspension season. And they've got to be careful, because our very next game is coming up there against the reinvigorated, in-form Celta Vigo side at Balaídos, and a booking for each of those players would see them suspended, and that would be more bad news for Barcelona. For Athletic, though, they do have a suspension of their own, and I do believe it will be a key one in this game, because Yuri Bacice, the former Sociedad and PSG left-back, is now suspended after picking up his 5th yellow of the season against Real Betis at the weekend. And like I say, I think that could be there very, very significant for Athletic Club, because Yuri this season has been comfortably one of their best players. He's been very, very consistent, and he's actually played the full 90 minutes in their team for 27 out of their 30 games. And I think at left-back there, they will miss him. I don't think they can replace him as well in that position, and let's not forget as well, he's one of the players out on that left-hand side who would have been responsible for taking care and keeping quiet Lionel Messi. And I think Yuri missing, we have to target that side. It will be a weakness in their team. But in terms of Barcelona going into tomorrow's game, I think there is pressure. I think there is real pressure right now, not just on the team, but in particular on Quique Setién. And the most important thing for me is all about what I mentioned there at the start of the video. You've got to learn. Can we see from Setién here a realisation that against Sevilla, things were going well up until half-time, but it's all about that in-game management. You as a coach, even more so now with the increased subs, you've got a responsibility there to affect the game. You can make things happen, you can make the tweaks, you can make the changes that are needed to give our team the points. And I think certainly over this remainder of the season, we're going to see Setién really, really under the spotlight. And the question is, can he now step up? Because with Ernesto Valverde, of course, we were all very, very clear in our views on Ernesto. And even though Valverde did do, admittedly, some good things, the one biggest problem that we all had with Valverde was that failure to learn, was that failure there to address the clear mistakes that he was making. And over 2.5 years, we didn't see change. Setién now has the responsibility to evolve, to understand, and in this kind of game, and in the games to come, we have to see that evolution. And it was interesting today, in his press conference, he was, of course, asked about that Real Madrid victory last night. And like I say, there was no dubious refereeing whatsoever. Of course, it was a perfectly legitimate win. Everything is fine. Setién said there, the refereeing decisions is something that we cannot control. It's not up to us what happens. He said everybody, though, has seen yesterday's game, and everybody will have their own conclusions. And he was then asked about the words of Piqué, and I did like this answer. He said, Piqué, for me, has always seemed like a very smart player. So in other words, Gerard Piqué, you are absolutely right. But now is not the time to look at referees. Now is not the time to look at Real Madrid and think, oh, you've got lucky. What happened is unjust. All those sorts of things. Yes, we were angry. Yes, we're probably still angry, as you can see from this video. But let's focus on our job. Now it's Athletic Club. Now it's over to Barcelona once again to take things as best as we can in our own hands, get the win, put the pressure on Real, and do our job for the rest of the season. And if we do now move on to those potential lineups here, starting with the visitors Athletic, because there are a few things here that I want to highlight in particular with Athletic's team. This is basically how they're going to set up here. I expect it to be a 4-2-3-1 formation with the two sitting here in midfield, and quite a lot of options there in attack for Athletic. They're quite flexible in the way they go about their attack. In goal, Unai Simon is a very, very good goalkeeper. They've replaced Kepa extremely well, Athletic. At centre-back, Inigo Martinez here and Nunes, two very, very good centre-backs as well. Like I say, I think in particular we have to target here the left-back area of Athletic. I think Balenciaga is a big, big downgrade on Yuri Bacice. Dani Garcia and Unai Lopez here holding in midfield. But like I say, in particular here, the forward line of Athletic, it is flexible. You've got Iñaki Williams, of course, all of that pace. His work rate is outstanding. In front of goal at times, he can be a little bit hit or miss, maybe not as clinical as Athletic fans would like him to be. But I'd also highlight here Raul Garcia. He's somebody who will start maybe out on that right-hand side, but he is going to come in central, and when he does that there, when they do go for that long ball, Iñaki may just drift out here to that right-hand side, and Raul Garcia can help bring the likes of Muniain and also Cordoba into play. And I think Muniain is a brilliant little player. He's there in that number 10 role. If you allow him time, if you allow him space on the ball, he can make things happen. And I think certainly there, Athletic do carry threats. They do have good players, and we will have to be wary of that. When it comes to Barcelona, though, I have to say I am pretty worried about the lineup that potentially we are going to see in this game. Obviously, against Sevilla, not every single player covered themselves in glory, but I am worried coming into this one that we are going to see Griezmann, Suarez, Messi up front. I just have that feeling right now that given the injuries that we have, given the way the last game went, maybe Setién will retreat here and just play the big names. I hope that it doesn't happen. I really, really do. And I think as well, Busquets, Rakitic, Vidal, Arthur Melo seems to be really being pushed out the door. I don't see him starting in this game. So I am worried about the team that we could see tomorrow. But I potentially would like to see this. In an ideal world, I think there you could fill that full of enthusiasm and fill that there full of energy and a lot of options. Ansu Fati wide out on the left-hand side, giving us width, giving us there a different dimension and pace as well. And I wouldn't mind as well seeing Junior Firpo playing with him because those two combine really, really well at the Camp Nou just last week. But of course, Jordi Alba is also playing well since the restart. But in midfield, I'd love to see Ricky Puig. Quique Setién said in his press conference today that he wouldn't rule out Puig starting the game. And I just think there it would add a lot to our midfield. It would add there that creativity that we're desperately lacking. Vidal has played a lot of minutes since the restart. He was subbed against Sevilla. He wasn't too happy about that. But I just think Puig gives us something to actually there get excited about, get off our seats. And I would love to see Ansu and Ricky starting in this game. Please, Setién, just stay bold, stay brave, don't retreat, don't just back into a corner now and accept your fate. Keep on fighting. Let's see here against Athletic, a Barcelona to be more proud of. So that there, guys, is potentially what to expect prior to Barcelona versus Athletic at the Camp Nou. Finally, of course, though, we do have to talk predictions, and in this game, you guys are not so confident. And alarm bells for me always start ringing when I look at the poll there and I see that 3+ goals is not way ahead. And as you can see, the majority there going for 2 goals, but there's a lot of people as well going there with Barcelona potentially dropping points at the Camp Nou. And that for me, that is worrying. Because I myself here are dubious coming into this game. I want to stay hopeful, I want to stay positive, but you do wonder here, if Athletic were to get that first goal, how would we respond? For me, we've got to start quickly. We've got to start well. I will say that we'll still win this. I'm going to go Barca 2, Athletic 0, but it's going to be tough. They're a good team, and we will have to improve on that level and certainly create more from midfield. Let me know all your thoughts, all of your predictions for the score, for the team, in the comments down below. And of course tomorrow, plenty to come. The match review, hopefully, will be a good one. I'll see you then, guys. I hope you didn't mind today, me just cramming all of this into one video. But believe me, plenty more to come. The games, oh, they don't stop. I'll see you then. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça.